Hello, everybody. We're getting set up. Hope everybody's doing okay. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend, good end of your work week. I am, Mike's just getting some stuff set up. I don't know. I'll ask him about it. I actually don't know what's going on. He's there. He exists. But he's on his brother's computer. Who knows? We'll figure it out. All right, we are, hello, yes, oh, you sound good. No, I've been, like, working right up into this last minute on other stuff. Let's see what he says. Let's see. Oh, geez. Okay, so are you okay? Well, I don't pay attention to any of this shit you say. I've been setting up the podcast. I've been trying to get freelancers for stuff. I've been busy. All right. Well, that's a shame. And I'm sorry. All right. All right. Well, let's fix your face as best we can. All right. You sound fine. I'll just... Okay. That's just me. Okay, they can hear you now.
Hello, everybody.
I had to click one button. Let me turn you up a little bit, Mike. Talk normal.
I'm talking like normal. Hello.
All right, that's pretty good. Okay, you know what? Let me make myself just a little...
My power's out, so I'm here. Jeff didn't get any of my messages about it, which is shocking. Probably because I didn't message him on Twitter. He was too busy getting into arguments about VG shirts.
Yeah, fun way to spend your time. Having someone tell you something you've known for literally a decade.
I love Daniel, but that sure did seem to be a sore point for him.
Yes, yeah. I'm like, okay, I get this is a thing for you. That's fine. It's totally fine.
That's fine. But it was a little weird.
Yeah, but I mean, the people can get weird about stuff like that. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. All right, where are we at in terms of getting this podcast going? I have the rundown here. I have questions on Discord. So what I need to do is, so we don't lose Mike's face, is go to Discord app on the browser, and then I just open Discord in browser, and that works. Okay. And we have Mike. I guess I'll open up Stream Elements as well, just to make sure I have it.
Yes.
Go here.
Look, I don't know what AJ's camera setup is, but that's what you guys are getting tonight. There's AJ. Hi, AJ. Thank you for letting me invade your home. I tell you what, I sure hope my power is back on by the time I'm done with this. Turns out almost everything I do depends on power and electricity. I had to go to Dollar General and like get a bunch of ice and throw all of my stuff in the fridge in a cooler.
Well, is it just was like the snow knocked down the thing unexpectedly? Like, I bet snow got on a tree fell down because it had too many leaves on it and knocked down some power cords. That sounds like Ohio.
No, there's no snow here now. I looked at the website and it said animal contact was to blame. So apparently some animal just chewed up something. Yeah.
He was playing drums too hard. Okay. I think I got everything pretty much set up. You know what? I know for a fact that I have the wrong audio on Discord, so let me fix that, and then we'll be good. Streamer mode enabled.
Jesus, toad back. Thank you. Goodbye.
All right, then. Wow. Okay. Mike, you might hear a fan. Hopefully they don't hear it on the thing.
It is actually, the weather is starting to warm up here now.
Yeah,
finally.
It's kind of getting a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, I think we're ready. Let me test this audio. You hear that, Mike?
I do hear that.
All right. Well, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to count us down. And, wow, that's a lot of questions, everybody. Okay. Probably gonna have to edit these as we go in my brain a little bit, but that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna do a countdown. I'm gonna hit record. I'm gonna get us right into it.
A lot of news this week too. So.
Yes. Yeah, we'll probably just try to do many of these quick hits, especially like these like sales numbers and stuff. Okay, Mike, I'm counting down. 5, 4, 3.
Oh yeah, tweet.
Gotta remember to tweet.
And of course, I started talking. Too late now. I'm just talking over the whole thing now.
It's the same thing now. We talk over the opening.
Yeah, we're very professional.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the GamesBeat Decides podcast on a Friday as we get ready to hang out for the weekend. This is a podcast where we decide everything about the world of games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb, and with me is
Mike Minotti in this new special remote location, aka my brother's home, because a moose or something. We don't actually have any meese in Ohio. Some kind of an animal tore through a power line or something. So I had no power for a while, so now I'm here. Great.
But you figured it out. I'm like, I didn't know about this until you got on Discord under AJ's name. It says Ash Guy, and I'm like, oh, okay. All right, this is what something's happening here, and then
to be clear to everyone listening, I did contact him. I texted him, but he doesn't.
Plenty of warning. I really have had. I've had a busy day. Yes, arguing on Twitter mostly.
Well, that's important.
It's very important. My brain won't let me not do it. Yes, this is the podcast where we talk about games, all that stuff. We got news. We got games. I want to thank everybody for joining us. You get more from Mike and me at GamesBeat.com. If you want to ask a question, you could drop us a super chat during the show on YouTube. You can also communicate with us for free by emailing us at gamespluspodcast@venturebeat.com. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme songs. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever pods are caught. Give us a good rating wherever you're listening. It helps people find the show. If you are listening on YouTube, though, give us a thumbs up. That really helps people find the show on YouTube, and we really appreciate that. Thank you to our mods. Join the Discord. It's discord.gg/GameMess. That link is in the description. Support the show by going to patreon.com/GameMess or become a member right here on YouTube. There's that join button. You can hit that. You could also, get on Twitch and do it that way. And if you do that, all of those get you into the secret channels inside of the Discord where you can ask questions as well, and we will be answering those on today's show. I think tonight we're doing the Jeopardy game, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Is that happening?
Well, Mike, you tell me.
Well, my power should be back by that time, and I'm going out at like 7 my time. So as long as it's like later-ish, that should be fine.
Okay, no, that actually doesn't. Okay, so we might have to move things around. 7 is the time that our special guest was going to be able to do it. He's got other stuff later at night. So,
well, I mean, I can maybe not do that instead. We'll talk later. We'll figure it out.
Okay, we'll figure it out. But the Jeopardy game will be coming up soon. If you want, you could watch that live if you are one of the members of our channel and stuff like that. All of the information is inside the podcast producers channel if you become a member.
But Jeff, I know I'm saying I'm not reading super chats today. I want to read this one especially though.
Please.
From PlayStation good. Is better. Zook bodied you. You def an Xbox employee. Cope seethy?
No, it's cope seethy. You got to cope seethe because you're seizing through your cope.
Is that what? What does that mean? I don't understand.
It's a thing that kids say that like when they want you to be angry because they think that they're like, oh, we're gonna get you, and then you're like, okay, I don't care. Like, oh, cope seethe. You're cope seething.
Are you telling me that this person that harasses you for being an Xbot is perhaps very young? It doesn't have a fully formed frontal lobe? No way.
God, I hope so. Because if it's a fully grown adult without a frontal lobe, then there's some issues there.
But thank you for your money again.
Thank you so much for your money. All right. Mike, I got a bunch of news. We should probably just hop right into it, right?
Let's hop that thing.
Halo Infinite Season 2 preview. There was a bunch of modes. Mike, did you take a look at these? It's King of the Hill, Land Grab, Last Spartan Standing. Kind of looks like a battle royale, but doesn't look like a massive battle royale. What was your take on these?
My big take is that I kind of just wish we got a normal ass battle royale. I feel like they're trying to do something weird. It sounds like there might even be some PvE elements to it. Is that right? And I'm like, no, Actually, just put 100 players into a large map and let's fight until there's like one person left and the map gets smaller randomly. That's kind of really actually all I want.
It sounds like something like that is still happening from that certain affinity. But they're doing both then, and that's kind of weird. So yeah, I agree. But I'm like, it'll be nice just to have new modes. I almost don't need the modes as much as I need the maps personally. Like I'm like, just a ton of new maps would have been better. I think we're getting 2 new maps with this season, right? Is that right? I think that's how it's working. But 3 new modes, whatever, new ways to play. I'll give it a shot. It's fine with me. I'm not playing Halo in a way that's like, I need new content every day, because I'm never going in there by myself and just like going through levels. I'm just playing with friends when we have community game nights, and that has been fun this entire time without issues. So more stuff should theoretically make it more fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing. Is I just want more stuff.
Yeah. Skate 4 footage leaked, and
Yes.
the way this worked is I was just like hanging out, and someone was like, "Hey, this is happening. It's real." And it was like when it was just posted. And I don't know how they found it, but yeah, I immediately got word that happened. So I was like, okay, I'll grab this and post it. And I tried to find a way to just like link to the thing and have it embed somewhere, and that wouldn't work. So I'm like, I'm gonna mirror this and just be careful. So I posted on Twitter, and of course the tweet blew up. One thing I've realized is EA, how they don't really have like this. They don't have like a voice, or they don't have like a community that's like, I'm in the EA community. But Skate and Need for Speed, they have a handful of games where it's like, I am a Skate fan, and there's millions of these people. And that clearly was, on display in the way that tweet kept just blowing up. But I've heard from a lot of people who've play tested the game. I've heard from people that have like worked around the game and stuff like that. And everyone seems really happy with the state of it and how far it's come in terms of turning it into something that is going to be a strong link in the lineage of Skate games. So I posted a story about this today. If anyone has any burning interest to know more, there's a few more details in there. The city that you skate around is called Fun City, at least for now, which I think is a very good name. The online collaborative mode sounds very good. So yeah, a lot more details in that story, and that's on GamesBeat.com from this morning. So check that out. Amy Hennig was making a Star Wars game, and it got canceled by EA. And then she was making another Star Wars game, and then it got canceled by EA. And then she wasn't making a Star Wars game. Mike, Amy Hennig is now making a Star Wars game. Are you excited?
Wow. No. I'll be excited if it comes out, I guess, and depending on what it looks like. I don't know. I've had so long to think about an Amy Hennig Star Wars game that now I have nothing to think about anymore. I bet this one will come out. It sure would be weird if it didn't, right?
Yes.
At that point, we may have to actually start looking at what curse has affected Amy Hennig. But, I mean, yeah. So is this going? So what was the one she was working on? The Ragtag? Was that the one that was canceled?
Yes, that was one of them. Yes, it was. And then they started working on another one that was going to be a little bit more open, a little bit more systems driven. And the things I heard about that game is like they had like a space economy where you would be like working as it almost sounded like Sid Meier's Pirates a little bit, but obviously bigger than that. But then that got tanked as well.
I guess I would like the idea of a Star Wars game that was a fun, big single player thing that wasn't Jedi or like X-Wing pilot, right?
Yep. Agreed. And there's so much space to do stuff with that, pun not intended, in the Star Wars universe. And I hope that's exactly what she's going for. I mean, her character from before, I mean, Nathan Drake, right? He's a scoundrel. Like you want, like,
Correct.
do that. Just make scoundrels.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's basically, you basically actually can just do literally Uncharted Star Wars at this point. It's like kind of what people have wanted. Anyways, just do that. Let's get it. Let's make it happen. People have wanted that since Star Wars 1-1, whatever that, the one with the numbers are supposed to be in like the underworld of Coruscant. Yeah, 1313.
Tom Henderson chat says, why didn't EA DMCA you, by the way? They are bastards to me. I've been wondering that too. The hunch I get is that people talk about controlled leaks all the time. I think this one they knew was going to leak. The way that they've been doing these playtests have been so sort of widespread that I think they always knew it was going to leak, and I think they wanted to get out there. I don't think they wanted to be like, we're showing this game off, because then you got to be like explaining to idiots, why are you showing it off when it's in this state? When it leaks in pre-alpha footage, it's like, oh, okay, we didn't intend for people to see this, but and other people can like explain for us on those terms, because if they're the ones leaking it, like I've been like, no, this is just pre-alpha footage, just chill. And the response to it has been super positive. Like,
Right, like why would they care? It's good.
right,
It's good for them.
It's been all good for them. So I think that's why they haven't been sort of like doing a big backlash. You know, maybe they also don't want to acknowledge it. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's a new strategy where they're like, we won't DMCA it, 'cause then that confirms that it was real, and then it'll just keep spreading. But it's spreading anyhow. I think the first answer is probably more likely. They're just happy with the response, and they're like, this is just good marketing, and which is not what I'm intending to do for them. I'm just trying to get information out there. It was just happenstance that it worked out that way for them.
Yeah. I want people in chat who are saying, well, Mike's camera looks better. They better be trolling me, Jeff, that this whatever setup this is looks better than all that money I just dumped on that camera and that light and everything here.
It's just
they just like the blurry background.
Yes, they just like the bokeh, and it's like fake bokeh. Absolutely, Mike. That's what I have, and people are always like,
I hate it, to be clear.
Yeah.
I hate your fake bokeh. I want to look at your Return of the Jedi poster. I hate that. And then like you move your hand, and like
your camera looks so expensive, and I'm like, nope, I'm just software.
It's the bokeh.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate how like your hair will mess up a little bit. Like sometimes your hair flaps will get like blurry for a second.
Cool.
No.
Cool way to talk about my hair. My hair flaps, Mike. Yes. Let's see. Blackstone and KKR, which are these giant, the asset management companies, and I mean giant, like $12 trillion and stuff like that. They're considering buying out Ubisoft. This is a report that came out today from Bloomberg. There's no offer.
That's probably because my power was out all day.
Yes, this just happened. Yeah, so you probably missed this. What can you say about this other than, this makes sense? I mean, Blackstone already owns everything, so why wouldn't they be trying to do this in gaming as well, especially when like other companies are? Maybe they've just woken up to this as a possibility. They probably also own significant portions of many public companies already, and I'm just not aware of it. But yeah, there's no deal on the table. There's no deal that's been made, but it sounds like conversations are happening. And what we say is conversations are always happening. People are always talking about this stuff. One of the reasons, Mike, that we don't want to leak the thing with yes, the big deal with Sony is because it could just be another one of those conversations that are always happening, and there's no reason, because we can't confirm it, and there's no reason to put it out there until we know for sure.
And then PlayStation is good, or whatever his name is going to come in and yell at us, right?
Yes,
we don't want to anger him any further. So.
Yes, I mean his wrath is truly a thing to behold. But still, it does. I mean, these are big companies who are used to throwing money around, and when they start talking about that, markets move, and Ubisoft's stock price has shot up in response to this. So, not too surprising there.
Jeff, let me ask you the question. Everybody is wondering, what will this mean for Beyond Good and Evil 2?
They're going to announce Beyond Good and Evil 3 to really jack up their price.
Seriously, like if Ubisoft's acquired by anybody, what do you think they're going to do with Beyond Good and Evil 2? Which is probably not even a real game.
They're not even going to, no one, if they get acquired.
It's going to be canceled by just by being forgotten. It's going to get. It's like when you move and you have that statue of Batman from 15 years ago, and you just lose it because who cares about it actually?
Yep, exactly. That's exactly how it would go. I mean, I am still, my stated position with Beyond Good and Evil 2 is, if it ever comes out, it will not be the game that they were talking about when they first showed it.
It better not be, to be honest.
Yes.
Just make Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I think that's probably what is happening here with that game, is they are still making something called Beyond Good and Evil 2 with zero connections to anything they were talking about back then.
Man, Robin from Dark Knight Rises is going to be so sad. He's probably very furious that that's what I know him from. I don't even remember his name.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I know him from Running on the Wall in Inception.
I'll tell you what, that's all I remember him doing in that movie. I'm like, was he even actually a character in that movie, or did he just show up to do that part there? I remember Leonardo DiCaprio's in that movie, and What's-Her-Face is in it, and also Michael Caine, but I don't remember him doing anything but the running on walls.
Welcome to our podcast within a podcast. Mike tries to remember movies he saw once. All right, back to your regular programming. That would be just once an episode. We do. Mike, you want to go to your a movie you remembered once? Yep. All right.
Yeah, I saw this movie one time. I don't remember much about it. It was okay, I guess. There we go. That's
there was a guy in a shirt. Yeah. Okay. Splatoon. Wait, here. Let's do this one first. Xbox and PlayStation are considering in-game ads for free-to-play games. This is not just they're going to code ads like hard code them into games. Like remember Burnout Paradise with the billboards for Obama, and I think you can go step back and play that original game and still see Obama '08 campaign.
That's kind of incredible, actually.
Yeah, Burnout Paradise. Yeah, it's incredible. Absolutely. This would work where it's like they are going to create ad like marketplaces, and the highest bidder will be able to target ads directly at you. Now, they're not talking about like giving up personal information so that people can target you specifically. It would have to be much more generalized than that, because Microsoft and Sony both sound like they don't have any interest in getting in that whole personal privacy game.
Sure.
But you could still be like, you are targeting gamers. Like if you want to target gamers overall, for people who play free-to-play games, we will, let the highest bidder market to them. Mike, I just don't have super duper strong opinions about this. I think it's a very low chance that they do anything that would disrupt the gameplay experience. I think it's mostly just going to be ads.
Like when you say ads, is this like stuff in the menus? Is it stuff in the game? Like what kind of? I mean, what are ads?
I think it'll be billboards
in the game is a little shitty
and stuff on the menus. Yes, of course, it's a little shitty. Absolutely.
Especially, I don't know. I guess I don't love it, honestly. Especially if we're like, paying for things like gold and Game Pass. I don't think we should be getting ads inside of these games. I know they're free to play, but there should be some way where it can recognize I'm a Game Pass subscriber or something, and not not make me deal with that. Thank you.
What is the word you were?
Suspect.
Circumspect.
Look, word hard.
Yeah, that's
why I write.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I hate ads. I usually, if I have an option to pay to get out of seeing them, I do, and I have. And like, my kids watch a ton of TV, and they have almost never seen a single ad in their entire lives. So it's like, oh, this is a cool life that we live. It's very noticeable when I do watch an ad, and when the kids watch an ad, they're like, holy shit, look at this fucking toy. You have got to get this for me. It's all I can think about now. I'm like, oh man, marketing is kind of a nightmare.
I mean, I think we watched so much Nickelodeon back in the day. We had to see so many ads in our lives. It's just too much now. And now I'm like, now I have YouTube Red and all stuff. I see ads very rarely, so when I do now, it's like especially offensive.
Agreed. So the point being here is, you're right. If you are a subscriber to one of these higher tiers, I hope that you can. I hope there's an ad-free tier. If you buy the season pass, that should come with no ads included as well. So any sort of thing to get out of these ads, I will pay that money, and not everyone will. And I get that these games need to make money, so I'm kind of okay with like finding this alternative for this other audience. It's like, I was playing for free anyway. I guess I'll have to watch some ads. Let's see. Susceptible. I think we were trying to use susceptible.
I wanted to say subject. I wanted to say right. I don't want to be subjected to ads. I don't know why.
That's what it was.
That's what I was looking for.
Yes, you're right. Man, yeah, English is hard. That's
word right, hard.
Tim. Okay.
Need type computer help words.
Mike, earlier this week, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 got moved up from September to July. I can't remember the exact date. July 20. I don't know. Whatever. July. We talked about that on Nintendogs. If you guys want to have our full thoughts on that, you can listen to that. But there's more to that story in that now Splatoon 3 is officially coming out on September 9th. So that was a game that was always supposed to come out in summer. That is still summer, but it clearly seems like they have done a little bit of a do-si-do to move in each other's spots, right? Is that what your thinking is?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just because Splatoon is so such a wet game that I associated it with like July summer or maybe August summer. It has summer vibes in a way that
Agreed.
Let's not get into the whole is September 9th summer not. It is scientifically it's summer, but yes, we could also say it's not very summery though, sure, but I think I just like imagine Splatoon has summer vibes, so I think ideally it would have been a little bit earlier, but not a giant deal here. I'm just excited for this game, and I would certainly rather have this game before Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but that's okay.
Yeah, and I kind of get the idea of people being like, someone was bothering Imran Khan, and he was saying like, it's not summer because I'm not on summer break anymore from school. And while that's an insane thing to say, I still agree kind of that's like, it is the kind of game that if I were on a summer break, I would want to have it for my entire summer break. So a little bit of a disappointment there. We will be playing that game a ton when it comes out, though. Our community, it'll be a big part of our community. We got a lot of huge Splatoon fans. So I'm really looking forward to it. My other thing here, though, is Mike, is They showed a new trailer. It was more gameplay of Turf War, something that's been in Splatoon from the beginning. They showed, there's some new weapons, and you could see some of the new styles. And they've put out some screenshots that show off some of the new fashions that the characters are wearing, the Squid Kids. But they haven't showed much of like anything new from single player, and that stuff's probably yet to come. But if this game is just a bunch more multiplayer stuff and a single player campaign similar to what we got with Splatoon 2, are you going to be pretty satisfied with that?
Yeah, that's basically all I need. And I bet the single player blowout is like kind of what they're saving for this game's E3 timeframe presentation, right? When it shows up at whatever the next direct is, that's what we'll be getting kind of the deeper dive there.
Yeah, and this is a game that could even potentially get its own direct because it's so big and chain.
That's true.
12 million copies sold worldwide, so that could still happen as well.
Slightly higher seller than Luigi's Mansion 3.
Just slightly, yep. So it's like that means it's a massive success, one of the biggest successes of all time, a blockbuster.
And it's on September 9th now, the greatest video game release date you can possibly have.
9/9 is that we're making reference to the Dreamcast here? Is that what we're doing?
Dreamcast, lots of good things happen. I think the original PlayStation was on 9/9 at some point. Lots of games have come out on 9/9.
I got my first car accident on 9/9/99. I've definitely told that story.
Well, it's an even better day. If only it was a more serious car accident.
Nintendo is facing allegations that it fired a contractor in retaliation for asking a question about unions. So, basically, the story goes like this: the contractor who worked at a contract company under Nintendo, so not like directly for Nintendo. This person asked about unions in a meeting, and then suddenly, like a week later, was fired. And now Nintendo has responded to this and said, we had no idea this person asked about unions. We fired them for leaking information to the public about a game that they were NDA'd under. Now
they didn't leak it to us. What the heck?
Yeah, right. Yeah, come on. We would have protected you. Kotaku has followed up on this and did some reporting, said other people have done similar leaks and they've received warnings. So it's a little bit weird that this person was fired when other people haven't been fired for a similar offense. Now, I think, not every leak is apples to apples, but, that sounds reasonable to me. It does sound like it's possible that someone heard them say union and like, we got to look for a reason to fire this person. But the National Labor Relations Board, which is the regulator that oversees unions in the United States, is going to look into this. There's been some people coming out recently saying, hey, I'm not under NDA anymore. Working at any sort of Nintendo thing as a contractor has always been a nightmare. Nintendo has kind of done the thing that Microsoft did with Permalance, where like, Mike, you know how we were contractors at our job for a really long time? Well, Microsoft and Nintendo kind of got in trouble for that. So what they would do is you could work for like something like 9 months under contract, but then you can't work again under contract unless you have a 2-month break. So you're not Permalance, you actually are just a contractor, but it's very much letter of the law and not spirit of the law sort of thing.
Just hire people.
Yes, just hire people, right? So it's like, that's like very stressful. That sounds very sort of like, that, to me, that's almost trauma inducing, that sort of treating people that way.
Sounds like something that should be illegal.
Yes, and it's like something
sounds inhumane.
It sounds like something they were specifically trying to eliminate, but then these companies went letter of the law and not spirit of the law. So
yes, exactly.
This what we say with this stuff is this stuff happens everywhere. Not surprised to hear it happens at Nintendo as well. It is a symptom of a larger issue in our overall relationship to capitalism, but when a company makes mistakes, we're going to try to call it out. So we will be following up on this as best we can. I will probably be talking about it on Grubb Snacks next week. We'll see if we can.
Let's start a riot in Nintendo jail.
Yes, that's What can they do? Put us in solitary confinement? They probably could. Actually,
probably could make things much worse.
They have said that they are going to cooperate with the investigation. They're going to provide everything, and so what would they say? But we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean,
be interesting. We'll keep an eye on this. Be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I'll just add on this before we move on. I'll say that I've lost a little bit of faith in these investigations after all that fallout from the Department of Fair Employment and Housing in California, where it's like clearly things were meddled with, and the people with all the money and the power kind of find ways to tip the scales in their favor every single time. And so it's like, we have people looking into this, and that's what they exist for. And they're not impenetrable to sort of being fucked with, and hopefully that this is a case of where they can actually do their job and determine whether something was done wrong by Nintendo here. Okay. Sega is making big budget reboots of Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio as part of its Super Games initiative, or Super Game initiatives. and I think so. My understanding now at this point is that Super Game Initiative is just code for we want to have a GTA Online with a lot of microtransactions. I think that's what that means, and so
that's all that means. Super money making is what it means.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily super good.
Yes, a game that we can make once and then make money off of for 10 years. That's what it says.
I guess it sounds better than live service game.
Yeah. And it's nice to want things, Mike, but are these the games that are going to do it?
I'll tell you what, Jeff. I love Crazy Taxi. I love Jet Set Radio. I don't consider like that. Those are weird choices for your biggest game ever online. Those should be smaller games. That's kind of what they were.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think the only reason is because, well, those take place in kind of large open maps. Just make those maps even larger. And look, wow, you've got a Grand Theft Auto Online, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It could, especially for, in both cases, sure, it could work. With some smart designing and other things. Are they going to make it work? Like something that ambitious? That complicated off these very old franchises in which probably a lot of people who made them what they were are probably not there anymore. I don't know, Jeff. I am very skeptical. I mean, I guess I'm glad that these franchises are coming back in some way. We said that we wanted them to, but I didn't think that they would be in this way.
You're basically saying all the feelings I have as well. I have very little faith that these are going to turn into what they want. Hopefully, at the least, we just get pretty good versions of these games. And if they're big in fun ways, and something that I could play for a couple of weeks and really get a lot out of, I'll be satisfied. And if Sega's not, that's their problem. So that's kind of my hope right now. I have very little expectations that these are going to turn into super games.
There was also something about those two games where so much of the charm is so of that era, so Dreamcasty,
Yep.
Can that just translate into a game today?
Well,
maybe.
You know what? Maybe they're ahead of the curve, Mike. Maybe we're just wrong because throwback right now does mean late 90s, early 2000s. There are super popular vintage clothing stores, vintage fashion accounts on TikTok and social media. And all vintage means is what my parents were wearing in 1997, which is incredibly fucked up. But that is what's happening. And maybe going back to a soundtrack that is all Offspring and has those fashions, but blown up for a modern sensibility. Maybe there's something to that, and we're just missing out.
I think you're right.
Okay, PlayStation Plus is PlayStation Plus here. Whatever the new version of PlayStation Plus is going to begin rolling out in the next couple of months. PlayStation Jim Ryan himself actually wrote a blog post about the dates it's going to be rolling out in different territories. It's going to start in the wider Asian market, but not including Japan, on May 23rd. On June 1st, it'll launch in Japan. June 13th, it launches in the Americas, and then June 22nd. In Europe. Jim Ryan, of course, saving the best for last. Gotta love those Europeans. Right. I don't know. I don't know why they're doing a rollout like this, but I guess, and there's not much new information for this beyond these release dates. But yeah, okay, cool. I guess we're gonna get this in a couple of months. They have been beginning to reach out saying there's stuff happening with this, so we'll see if we get a chance to look at this stuff early.
Yeah, I just hope we get a full list of all those retro soon. Basically what I'm waiting for.
I mean, on that front, there is news out of the Korean ratings board that Siphon Filter 1 to Dark Mirror and Logan's Shadow have all been rated for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Do you think those games have to be rated if they are going through the PlayStation Plus, or do you
I have no idea?
Or do you think these are separate releases for PlayStation? Because I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I think I would lean towards these getting a packaged release on PlayStation, not on PlayStation Plus, but it's weird.
Interesting.
Okay, this is a hell of a story. Bobby Kotick's girlfriend, or then girlfriend, who is Sheryl fucking Sandberg, the chief marketing officer, whatever.
What a power couple.
Right? Chief operating officer of Facebook. Fucking Facebook.
Meta, Jeff.
Meta, excuse me. Fucking Meta. Got the Daily Mail to can multiple stories about restraining orders against Bobby Kotick from previous girlfriends around the year 2014. Mike, these people suck. I hate them so much. I hate them.
There's no way Microsoft's going to actually keep Bobby around, right?
Yes.
Come on. They have to be so over it. Well, as soon as they have the power to get him out, that's going.
I mean, the reason he continues to have his spot is because he's on top no one could get rid of him except for the board, and the board only cared about money. At Microsoft,
Right.
no one's going to want to work with this guy. I mean, that's, I guess I'm assuming, but the hunch or the feeling I get from everyone that's ever talked about working with Bobby Kotick is they hate it. They hate being around him. They hate talking to him. They hate working with him. So if you have the power to get rid of him, I think you would.
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't even know what I was gonna say. I'm tired of thinking about Bobby Kotick. Let's move along.
Activision wants to double the number of women on its board. So that's a good 1-2 whammy right there. I think they've said this before, and then they failed to do it. So now they're saying it again, and we'll see if they actually succeed. But Activision's board is probably going to be like less of a concern once it does officially go under Microsoft. So it's kind of like too little, too late for that at this point. Let's go through some of these other ones pretty quickly. Shin Megami Tensei sold 1 million. Shin Megami Tensei. Shin Megami Tensei. Got it right the first time.
Right the first time, yeah.
Yep.
I always doubt myself too, don't worry.
Yep. Sold 1 million copies. We talked about that on Nintendogs. Give that a listen. Lego Skywalker Saga sold 3.2 million copies in 2 weeks. A really good number for that game. There was a lot of pent-up demand, and it's good to see that wasn't just like phantom demand. It was like actually a real thing. Dying Light 2, one of those big games we were talking about from, what was that, February, ended up selling 5 million copies in 1 month. So that's a massive number for the game that was like, what was like number 4 out of all those big games that
Right, it was
month?
a game that like we almost kind of like, well, that kind of came and went, huh? And that sold 5 million copies.
And like Pokemon,
bigger hit than Metroid Dread.
Yes,
probably.
Yes. Oh, yes, almost certainly. Pokemon, its second month, the Legends Arceus, was even ahead of that. So it sold probably like around 5 million in the United States that month, just physically. Pretty nuts. Or, not 5 million.
MPDs, where is this coming from?
That's coming from the publisher themselves. So that's a worldwide number.
Okay.
And the MPD would have just been the United States. So not 5 million.
MPD's soon, right? Or is it next
Tuesday.
week?
Tuesday. It's they delayed it because they were changing some stuff. Tune in Tuesday morning. I'll have that stuff on Tuesday morning, but also we'll have Nintendogs. So we'll talk about it there. Dying Light 2 sold 5 million. Jason Momoa might star in a Minecraft movie, which, Mike, doesn't make any sense, but Hollywood movies never make any sense to me anymore.
I mean, who knows? We got this. We got a Streets of Rage movie, I suppose. Whatever. Like 2/3 of them don't ever actually come out anyway. So
right.
We'll see.
Eric Wolpaw, who is one of the famous writers from Valve, who has worked on Half-Life and Portal, one of the big reasons Portal has the sense of humor that it does, has said he wants to make Portal 3, but it's hard to gather people at Valve to work on games because they're so busy with other stuff. I talked about this a little bit on Grubb Snacks yesterday, but I'll just reiterate real quick. Valve does have that flat structure. Everyone can work on what they want. Valve does pay bonuses if the thing you work on ends up making them more money and stuff like that. And it turns out it's easier to do that by creating new stuff for the Steam store than by making a game that takes years and years to make. So it takes a lot of political engineering and a lot of political will to gather enough people to actually make a game. And it seems like so far they've been unable to do that for Portal 3 and a lot of other games that people would be like, hey, where is Valve with this? Well, those people are probably just working on making Steam better. Oh my God.
Sucks.
Yep. Yeah, it stinks. It's a disappointment, and hopefully he can get this done. I'm pulling for him.
Yeah. I mean, Portal 2 is like almost a 10-year-old game now.
Yep.
Hard to believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nuts. This is I can't believe I have to read this again. Square president Yosuke Matsuda repeated that he wants to make a play to earn blockchain game. So he said that in his New Year's letter. And then in his New Year's letter, people are kind of mocked that. And they're like, well, that's just like a New Year's letter from a Japanese CEO where they kind of go pie in the sky and they talk about all these things. But he's still talking about it, Mike, weeks later when it definitely seems like we have all moved past this, right?
Yeah, it seems like most people, especially like around that time when he did it, and all those earning ports from that era, every executive had to give some lip service to NFTs, and mostly not because they actually care, but because they knew it would make investors happy. This guy seems to actually be a believer, Jeff. Oh no. Yeah,
that's a real shame, and I would hope that this someone gets some sense into him here pretty soon. But I mean, especially,
maybe he should just do it and then watch it fail, and then maybe he'll get kicked out.
That's fair. I mean, Axie Infinity, the poster child for success in the play to earn space, has turned into a absolute debacle. It is a nightmare. They like the game. I mean, they had $600 million stolen from them. $500 million. Like, what? It's got to be one of the biggest heists of all time.
Who wouldn't want a piece of that action?
Yeah, that's insane. When I say every time I say that, it's insane. It's $600 million. And they're still trying to make the game go. And there's people who are like really mad because what they used to do is pay a bunch of Filipino game players in the Philippines like pennies on the dollar to play the game for them, these digital landlords, and now they're like, they don't want to work for us anymore. This game sucks. And
pay to contribute.
Oh man, what a nightmare. So yeah, go ahead and make one of those. Hang on, we're losing a little bit of frames. Let me pause real quick on the recording.
Yeah.
Let's see if it looks like it's coming back to life. It looks like it was just a hiccup. It was just a hiccup.
Enix hacked into our mainframe there.
Yeah, okay, here we go. We're getting back into it. All right, a couple last things here. GOG has announced that it's looking into minstrel leave for employees, and this is something I wanted to put in the news because I was just talking about this with my wife the other day, and because she read a news story about how painful. I mean, she knows firsthand, but she was reading a story about how painful the menstrual cycle can be, and when women feel that stuff, it's just as painful as almost as childbirth at its worst pangs. And it's like, man, you have to go to work like that, like every month. That's kind of seems messed up. And I'm like, oh, and now people are sort of already coming around. Already, I mean, thousands of years, but they're already coming around to it as like the research does like bear this out that it's very painful for women. So why wouldn't we just let them stay home during those days? Like, just build that into the expectations. Sure. Like, if that's happening once per month, like, why force them to come into the job if it's possible to let them either have leave or work from home? So, shout outs to GOG and CD Projekt Red, CD Projekt Red's parent company, for figuring that out.
Jeff, I have to admit, I thought that you were saying menstrual cycle and not menstrual, and I thought like what? Like is there like a once a month a man comes and sings something on a lute? So, it took me a little bit there. Sorry.
Oh Jesus, that's a very funny image. And Rachel says I could have told you all that in chat. Yes. Speaking of Rachel, please check out her preview of the Saints Row thing that happened this week. It sort of rekindled my hopes for that game, where before I was like, they kind of are going in a douchebag route instead of like a fun, irreverent route in those early trailers. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it felt like they were creating characters that were like, they think like, this is what progressive people are like. We're making a game about young progressives. Yeah. And it's like, no, you're just making games about like the people from the Don't Smoke commercials. Like, if those people are
Yeah, it's the 2020 equivalent of the Burger King Kids Club.
Yes, exactly. And I was getting just douche chills from those. She got, she was watching, she was talking to them, and her preview basically was like, I'm like, oh, hey, it seems like they have understood what Saints Row needs to be, and they are going in that direction. So give that a read. It's on GamesBeat.com. Okay, Mike, that does it for the news. We got through it. We did it.
Well, you're not going to talk about how I'm in the AEW video game?
Mike is in the AEW video game. I knew there was something I was forgetting. At the Pittsburgh live show on Wednesday, right? It was on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Which is that's when they do their TV show. So the TV show on Wednesday, they told the audience that they were recording chants for AEW's new video game, Fight Forever.
Right, and that confirmed the name of the game, too.
Right.
So this was Tony Khan, the owner.
Right.
Confirmed the game, and then he had us say some chants that they are recording for the crowd noises in the game. Jeff, it's funny how often, and by often I mean twice, I go to like just an event in Pittsburgh and gaming news happens. And it's very funny to me. Like I went to that Distant World Final Fantasy concert, and like they had the Final Fantasy.
Maybe they know you're going to be there. They're like
he accidentally.
This is where Mike Minotti comes to events. We got to have something ready to go.
There's no way with Final Fantasy 12 that's true, because no one knew who I was then. I'm riding your coattails now a little bit, but back then there's no way.
Tony Khan knows who you are, though, definitely. That
sounds like a threat.
That's very cool. Like, what kind of chants did you record?
Oh gosh, we did ones for FTR, for Sting, for Adam
Ooh.
Cole, and for the referee Audrey Edwards. Actually,
Oh,
so that's what I remember off the top of my head.
Very cool. So,
Yeah.
The rumors, unconfirmed, are that game's coming out maybe in September. That seems a bit early to me. So,
Well, big September, got Splatoon, got AEW. It seems a little early for me, also, Jeff. But recording like crowd noises, that does seem like that doesn't seem like something you have to do super early in
right,
development.
you would
right?
you would have placeholders in place the entire time, and then you just swap in the files. I don't make games, so I made that up.
So
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. That does do it for the news now.
You don't want to talk about the WoW news? I kind of talked about it before Nintendogs. There's not that much.
No, I mean, if you want to talk about it, please. But yeah.
I don't know. Everyone knows. If you have a question about it, I'm sure somebody may send it.
That's kind of what I figured is we'd probably get some questions about it. Okay. Well, then with that out of the way, Mike, you're not able to read super chats, right? So I should get to those?
No, that's going to be you, because I don't know how to get stream elements on this thing. I don't know how to log in on your account again.
Right. Okay. Well, with that in mind, I think you'd have to log in with your account because I think I approved you, but that's fine. Let's see here. Gaming Forte's in the chat. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, Gaming Forte. You did something to piss him off.
Well, I'll talk about it when we get there. Let's see. Oh, thank you to Levster for becoming a channel member. I really appreciate that. Be sure to make sure your account is linked up to your Discord account so you can get to the secret channels inside the Discord. Kung Fu Hot Dog asks, "Happy Friday, lads. Advice: is it possible to start a YouTube gaming channel in 2022? What else do you need apart from a niche? It's very overcrowded." Listen, all the old adages are true. Yes, focus in on a niche. Also have consistency. Post at a regular schedule.
Have good editing if you're not doing something live.
Yeah, and but then also there are tricks. Have a character. Play a character. People like put on a British accent. People like weird, funny voices. Like kids like that stuff. Like go maybe try to appeal to a younger audience and stuff like that. Also, a big thing is collaborate. Find other people who are on the same level as you and the people that are moving in the same direction as you and work with them.
It's hard because you have to kind of go all in without going all in, right? Like you need to try very hard, and it's going to take a lot of time and effort. But you also don't quit your day job, kind of a thing.
Right,
like
and don't
your
spend money that you're
expectations
not
have to be realistic.
Yeah,
right. You have to be realistic. Like you said, it is crowded. Not everybody is going to make it, and a lot of people are springboarding off of other things. So like the channel I'm obsessed with now is The Beast or something, and he is just playing through every Nintendo 64 game. And it's great. It's really fun. He has a random number generator to decide which one he's going to play next, and he beats them all. He doesn't look at walkthroughs or anything. He just plays through all of them, and he makes a really good video about each one. And he's like Persona. He's kind of like a little deadpan-y and stuff like that, and it's funny. But he was also his real audience started because he's a very good 2D Mario player, right? Stuff like that. So it's not like he just jumped into it.
Let's see, from Abe Froman. Here is my donation to the GamesBeat Decides Arby's studio, or just a beef and cheddar for both of you. Got any Xbox rumors you could divulge as we are getting closer to the game showcase season? Good luck with the move. Nothing specific yet, but I'm gonna keep looking, and we'll probably be able to talk more about what's gonna be happening then very soon. So keep your ears open.
Last year at E3, Jeff basically had the whole show before it went. So
yes,
we'll see how things are this time.
I'm hoping I can repeat that, but we'll see. From Kung Fu Hot Dog, Jeff, do you use an XLR mic with a Go XLR? With the Go XLR mixer? I do, Kung Fu Hot Dog. I have the Audio Technica A2020. That is using an XLR into the Go XLR into its one Go XLR slot right there in the back, and then I mix everything from the Go XLR for the most part. Yes, and that enables me to bring in game audio or system audio and stuff like that, and I can do a lot of routing, and I have the music coming from the Stream Deck that goes through the Go XLR, and then I can hit the buttons over here and play music. It's very handy. Go XLR is pretty expensive though, and again, you might just want to start out with, you're just getting started, you might want to start out with a USB microphone. There's nothing wrong with that. It's what I did for forever. There's a lot of really good USB microphones right now. I got a lot of reviews up. I have a SoundCloud where I do a bunch of audio comparisons of microphones. Maybe check that out, pick one of those, and go from there. From Toadpock Shakur says, Mike can invade my home anytime. Smirky face, eggplant, squirt, eyeballs. Those are all emojis. So Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
PlayStation is better, of course, and Shuge bodied you, of course. That's very true. Slippery Moose Cakes. Are we getting Jeff or Mike's hair in S2 armor?
I'll tell you what, Jeff's going to be a lot harder to render. My hair is in most games, turns out.
Yeah, mine gets messed up just by the background thing here. My hair flaps.
Yeah,
Mike, so I look at what
Jeff's camera can't handle the hair flaps. You really liked my use of the phrase hair flaps, didn't you?
It's just a very weird suggestion there.
It is, yeah. No one ever talks about that.
No one ever talks about the hair flaps. Danny Mitchell, hey, a while back there was a story about Xbox executives being ecstatic about a big third-party game coming to Game Pass this year. Did I miss it? I don't know. I don't remember that, actually.
I don't even remember. I don't remember that either, Jeff.
Yeah. So maybe that was just smoke without any sort of gun firing. But I don't know. We'll keep. I mean,
Babylon's Fall.
Yeah, but Babylon's Fall was a PlayStation 5 only, right? That wasn't even on Xbox.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Which one? I get that. I get the one by Gearbox mixed up with that new one by Platinum now.
Godfall.
So, the one by Godfall, yeah. Babylon's Fall is even a bigger disaster than Godfall,
yes,
right?
Somehow, yes. Godfall probably actually did pretty good because it was a launch game. I bet it did better than expected.
Yeah, I think it did okay. Yeah. Babylon's Fall is like brand damaging.
From Supernova, Jeff, I was hoping you'd do an Undertaker KO move on Shuge, a crying face emoji. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll Stone Cold pile drive, or not Stone Cold, what is Tombstone pile drive?
Tombstone, yes. Jeff, close.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Close. You're not forgiven.
From Dylan Dodds, do you guys think besides KOTOR, 3 games at Respawn, Amy Hennig, Ubisoft, and Eclipse, there's any more games in the works? Also, anything Titanfall? Yeah, I think there's probably more Star Wars deals to be made. I know they're making a lot. I've always heard they're making a lot. This seems like it's kind of like getting up to the higher edge of like how many they would be able to have happen at once. But many of these are big games that are years and years away. So I think there's a chance where they'll start making smaller deals with smaller studios that come out more quickly. But we'll see. Like, I mean, when Nintendo did the Rhythm Zelda game, I think they could do something like that with Star Wars. Not like a necessarily a rhythm game, although that would be cool. They could do something like that with indie studios and start having a game or two a year.
I should get an indie studio to make a new like Yoda's Quest or whatever that thing was. That desktop
Yoda Stories,
thing,
yeah.
Yoda Stories, yeah. Get someone to make a new one of those. Why not?
From Creaky Legs, I'm gonna leak who Sony is in talks to purchase. I'm sorry, boys. The world needs to know. It's Skyline Chili. The PlayStation Plus chili tier will end world hunger. I mean, listen, the world deserves Skyline Chili, so I'm for that. Nation Harris. Does Splatoon being dated mean no Splat Direct? I don't think it necessarily means that. If we get a Splat Direct, it'll just be closer to the release date. So I think they wanted to confirm the release date so that they can have that on their calendar for us and for their investors. They're about to do their investor call, and they're going to report their earnings here in the next couple of weeks. So now this game is part of their outlook and their forecast officially with the release date. So it's all part of just making sure that that pieces are in place for when they're talking to fans and for when they're talking to investors. Yes. Jared Helder, when are the next Mario Kart tracks coming out? I was just wondering this. Have they said, is it going to be like every 2 months or something like that?
I don't know. That also makes me realize we didn't talk about the new Genesis games coming to NS now.
Yeah, the new Genesis games were those Shining Force 2, Sonic Spinball, and Space Harrier 2.
Space Harrier 2, yeah.
Those are
Shining
all
Force 2
pretty
is
good
supposed to
games.
be... Really? You're not going to say anything mean about Sonic Spinball?
I mean, Sonic Spinball is, yes, it's not a very good game, actually. But like, the Space Harrier 2...
It's a big game, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a game. Who could say? I actually added that alleged video game after you said I was going to be snarky about it. I'm like, you're right, I should be snarky about it. So I went there, added it real quick.
Did you do that before or after you added a featured image to your story?
Right after I added a feature image. So I did you were like, and then I'm like, and then I added that, and then I added that line. But
I've been meaning to play Shining Force 2, so I'm very happy about this. It's like one of the big Genesis games I haven't played yet. Everybody loves it.
Mike, your camera's I think, is it moving on its own?
AJ's got some weird setting where it tries to follow my head. AJ always over programs everything he owns with any weird bells and whistles he can possibly get on them. So we're just gonna have to deal with it.
Oh man,
it
that's
does.
funny.
Yeah, doesn't it? That's it. Yeah, AJ always adds way too many. AJ always overcomplicates things. If there's something new and shiny, he can install something. He will do it.
Oh man, that's fun. Let's see. From Uriel Delgado, happy Friday. How do they explain Rogue and Amy Is it Rouge? Rouge and Amy wearing...
It's actually Rouge.
It is Rouge, okay. Rouge and Amy wearing clothes in the Sonic movies when they show up.
I mean, they probably just would acknowledge it. I wonder how they're going to handle Rouge, because she just has giant bat titties, right?
Yep.
Like, are they really ready for that in this? I don't know.
It's not that she just she has giant bat titties. She exists to have giant bat titties. That's the entire reason she exists.
I mean, I imagine they'll they probably just won't acknowledge it, or like they'll make like the one joke where Amy makes a comment about like all the boys are naked or something like that.
Ash Guy says, "If you could sit still, Mike, you giant man child."
Look, everyone knows I'm a fidgeter, all right, but it's not my fault that your camera can keep up. Yeah.
All right. Gaming Forte. Mike, I just wanted to tell you to have an amazing weekend. Unfortunately, Jeff told me he can't stand being around me, so F that dude. All love, Jeff. Yeah, I was on a podcast yesterday, and Forte was popped in after it started. I'm like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I love Forte. He's great.
Forte's great.
Yep.
Wonder what he thinks about VG charts.
Yeah, what do you think about VG charts, Forte? He's got good insight and stuff because he like works at retail, so he like sees the stuff that happens. So he knows probably better than VG charts sometimes. From Napper, do you have any details on the single player of Skate 4? Is it going to be challenge markers on a map like Skate 3? Thanks, guys. I believe that's how it's going to work. Yes, it's going to be a big open world map called Fun City, and you're going to go to different challenges, and those challenges will be stuff like races, completing tricks in a certain amount of time, stuff like that. There's some parts where you get off the board and do weird wonky stuff. I bet a lot of this stuff's going to be optional, so you kind of just go to the ones you want to go to. Yes, that does seem to be the way it's going to work, and I talk a little bit about all that in that story, so if you want to read more about it, it's all in there. And thank you for your super chat. That's a lot of money. Thank you. Another one from Toadpox Shakur. Jeff, are you going to take seeds or whatever from your Okay.
What state? Your sports state?
Okay. I mean, I know what he's referring to because yesterday I put up a TikTok about the tree in my front yard that smells like jizz. So,
well, those trees are all over the place.
Yes, I know. Yeah, absolutely.
We have those in Ohio already.
Yes.
In fact, there's a bunch on the Youngstown State University campus, my alma mater, that are very famous.
Which is why Youngstown State is called Cumtown, of course.
Yes.
Toadpox Shakur says, Jeff, are you going to take the seeds or whatever from your jizz-smelling tree and try to take it with you to Ohio so Mike can bask in its glory? Like Mike said, there are a lot of those trees all over the place.
Yeah, we're good already. Don't worry.
They smell like jizz, Nick. Come.
Yes. Nick's too young to know about that.
Green Thumbs. I was playing F-Zero X on Switch Online when I heard a familiar tune. The GamesBeat Decides intro music. Big Blue is such a jam. Happy Friday. Absolutely.
But it makes me happy anytime anybody hears that song and associates it with us instead of F-Zero.
Yeah. But man,
actually, it's kind of messed up. Maybe I don't like that.
I'll say that, but the song just gets me going. That's why I used it. So it's like, I'm glad that people get hyped listening to it. Hey Blinken asks, is Wolfenstein 3 in development? I don't know. My gut tells me no, based on the fact that I hear very little about it, and no one seems to know if it's in development whenever I ask about it. But I hope I'm wrong. I just continue to hope I'm wrong.
That Indiana Jones game's going to take a long time. Well, that guy is playing on the Nintendo 64 games. One of the ones he did was Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. It was just weird watching this giant playthrough of this Indiana Jones game that I know existed but never saw.
I always want to play that game.
Weird.
And it didn't work on emulators for forever because Factor 5 did some weird messed up stuff.
Yeah, he's playing everything he's playing everything on console. So
yeah,
intense stuff.
I mean, it works now on emulator, and I think I got it working on the Steam Deck. But I might just watch.
It's also just on PC. Just probably.
Yeah, but I think the PC version's even more difficult to get running these days.
Oh, really? Weird.
Yeah. Mike, that does it for the super chat. It's time to get to our community questions, which is in Discord, and I know how to find them. So just give me a second here while I try to find them.
Yeah, Jeff's good. Jeff's a smart guy. I went to reach for my flute to play it, and it is not here. I should have brought it with me.
You're out of your element, Mike.
No.
All right. Let's start here with Christian, who asks, I have a question. Is Jeff going to find this thread? Haha, very funny. After the show last week, when I struggled to find, I had to have people at me in the thread so I could just click on that and go right to the thread. And after the show last week, Turbo Sean, who sets up these threads for us, he's one of our mods, he's great, was like, all right, Jeff, do you know how to find the threads? And I'm like, I think so. And then he's like, well, how? And I'm like, they like hang off the main thing, right? And he's like, no, there's a hashtag thing before at the top. You got to click on that. I'm like, oh, okay. So I would not have found this had he not done that. I would have to do the thing again where I'm like, hey, everybody at me.
There you go.
Okay, let's get through these. Bench JC. I did have an original question, but somebody decided to read it during Nintendogs, so I'll just edit in a new question.
That's right. I did read some of those by accident. Nintendogs.
Imagine a world where Nintendo goes third party. What would you like to see with them now a third party studio?
I don't know. Just their games still. I don't know what would change necessarily. I guess I would just want them to see what like the big Zelda game and the big Mario game looks like on like the best hardware possible.
Yeah, I think even then they'd still probably not work very hard to like try to like, the artwork would just still be the standout thing. What would I like to see? I don't know. Maybe mods. I just want mods, so I don't care what Nintendo does. I would like PC mods for Nintendo games. That would be fun. And then I'd like the creators of Steam filmmaker or Source filmmaker pornography to be able to easily get all the Nintendo characters out of those games so they can really do some messed up stuff. This world's so messed up. From Nick Turbo, how do you think the PSP emulation will be on PS Plus? I'm curious because PPSSPP is one of the best emulators out there. It should be very good.
It should be good, right?
Yes, it should.
Kind of no excuses for it not to be. It's not one of the harder ones to emulate. Like you said, there are very good emulators out there already.
Right. PSP is yes, has been good for a very long time. Sipsis, hey Mike and Jeff, I've just finished reading Masters of Doom this past week and thought it was a fantastic read. I've also read Ask Iwata, own but haven't read Kojima's book, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to Reggie's book later this year. Yeah, but Reggie's on a tour for the book. He's going to be at GamesBeat Summit next week, so look out for that interview. It got me thinking, apart from Miyamoto, I would think a book about Gabe Newell would be good, or even Tim Sweeney could be an interesting read with the development of the Unreal Engine. What developers would you like to read a biography about?
That's pretty interesting.
I want a full, like, all the dirt details about Randy Pitchford.
Oh, God.
It'll be called The Magic Man. And, yes. I don't know. Do you have any answers, Mike?
I'm trying to think. Maybe some. I mean, he already brought up Dune, but like the John Romero's, like people from that era.
Yeah,
would be pretty interesting. I like going with you and like the kind of like a bit of like the disaster ones, like the Morbid Curiosity, Dennis Dyack. I guess like it wouldn't be a boring read.
No,
it wouldn't be a boring read.
Yeah. I think maybe just because I've been talking about it so much recently, I'd like to like get a talk about Dave Perry and the Shiny games and all that stuff at that time. I'd like to kind of just like pick their brains and have a story about how they made games. I think that'd be pretty cool. From Winnie, do you see AA Japanese companies eventually optimizing for Steam Deck? I ordered hoping to play Persona 4 Golden and the Trails series handheld, but both are stuck in unsupported land. Will I have to do the silly thing of emulating them on the thing I bought to legally play them on? I'm assuming that works. That does work, but I bet those games actually do work even if they are unsupported. There's probably some issues with them, but they'll definitely boot up, or at least they should boot up. Maybe there's some issue there. I'll give them a try. But there's probably just some weird thing with like support for some specific thing that doesn't work right. That's what a lot of those unsupported games are. Some games actually don't boot, but most games are just like there's some hiccup that causes problems. But you could play through all of the game without any real issues. Yes.
I hope
the Trails games do run, says AG Aragon. That sounds right.
Okay, good. Yeah, because those are fantastic. Probably some of the best JRPGs on Switch. It's weird if Persona 4 Golden doesn't run well on it. That would be a bummer.
I'm sure it runs well. It's just a matter of again, like the reason they won't say something is supported is there's a myriad of reasons, and some of them are just pretty minor.
Turboshan says Persona 4 works if you set Proton to experimental.
There you go. Yes, exactly. And that's what I do to run Dolphin. So, to run Simu. So yeah, like that's the kind of stuff that you might have to do, and that's what it means. And
what's Simu?
That is the Wii U emulator.
Ah.
Yeah, it's very good.
Is it like Shamu? Is it like a play on Dolphin?
Mike, is it?
I mean, that's what it made me think of.
I'm sitting here,
that's what it. At first, I feel like first you're gonna make fun of me, then you thought about it more and thought I might be right.
Yeah, I was very much going to make fun of you, and then you just stopped me in my tracks.
I think I'm on this.
Yeah. Dr. Turbo says, hey, Jeff, I've been keeping an eye on the Playdate for months. Almost bought it 4 times. Delivery is scheduled for 2023, and I check it out. Can I have yours? I'll tell you what. I believe I have misplaced it. So if I...
You lost your Playdate already?
We don't have to talk about the word lost.
You lost your Playdate?
Lost is a very strong word. I wouldn't say lost. I've misplaced it. If I find it, and then if I don't play it, and then I misplace it again, I will do a giveaway, and I'll just give it away, and you'll have a chance to get it at that point. Because I don't deserve to have it. I don't deserve to have it at that point. All right. You know what, chat? Fuck! It's like dealing with 350 Mike Minottis is what this chat is like.
So you admit that you're the freak.
I'm the only normal one here. From God Rizla, hey boys, I ordered a Vita, and hopefully by the time you read this, I will have it. Now I have no PlayStation set up. What? Okay, that must be one of the. I've never done Vita emulation, but that's an incredible name. No PlayStation. What are some games on the forgotten Vita that I absolutely must play? I don't know, Mike. You tell me.
Gosh, I actually did most of the things Gravity Rush 1 is great, although probably playing the remastered version on PlayStation 4/5 would probably be even better than that. Gosh, I'm like panicking and having a hard time even I played a lot of PlayStation 1 games on my Vita actually, and a lot of PSP games. So get Persona 3 Portable, which was technically a PSP game, and I played the Trails games on there a ton actually, and Suikoden 2, which was a PlayStation 1 game, which is what I played. Tearaway is very good. If you like 3D platformers, that's for sure. Gosh, now the Uncharted game's okay. Cascoder's probably the worst one, but still was pretty fun. Persona 4 Golden, we talked about before, but again, that's on Steam now. But hey, yeah.
All right, Nintendo bro, is Nintendo done with the classic consoles now that they are expanding the offerings of the Nintendo Switch Online collections? They're probably not done, but they are clearly taking a hiatus from that. But Mike, if they come back with it, what would you expect them to do?
Game Boy. Yeah. I bet at some point there will be a Nintendo 64 Classic. I mean, why not?
Yes. I mean, the big reason not to do it when they were about to do one, it felt like, was that it's actually pretty hard to emulate N64 on those Retroid Pis that they were, or whatever they were using, the equivalent of a Retroid Pi. But now, that hardware is getting more powerful in N64 emulation, always improving, actually, which is
they are personally improving it, right? They had to, they have to invest in it now. So, now you finally have, Ocarina of Time running pretty well now. So, hey, why not?
Macho Maname. Dear Jeff, it's going to be May P. Grubb and Mike, not Nocturnal Hairballs Minotti. No question this week. No question this week. Just a suggestion. You should start a third podcast. Make it sex themed and call yourself the Queef and Leather Boys. That is all.
Suggestion denied.
P.S. Jeff, could you ask Mike to stream some of that sweet, sweet Planet Coaster?
Oh, I need to finish these other Monkey Island games. I got 2 more of those, and then I'm gonna actually ask people what they want me to stream first, because I know I said I would do Earthbound, but I really want to play Shining Force 2. So I'll see which 16-bit JRPG people want to watch me play first.
From Beefhammer, happy Friday, Jeff. I can't find the thread, Grubb, and Mike, wrong thread, Minotti. With big budget Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio games being rumored, how would you make these into super games for Sega? Crazy Taxi Battle Royale, perhaps? I don't know. It doesn't make. I mean, because my understanding of what Sega thinks a super game is a game that people are going to be they're one game they're going to play forever. And if you just make that the gameplay Crazy Taxi themed, it doesn't. I don't know how you do that.
I would it would just be a bigger open world version of those games, and maybe when you do missions, it has those live scoreboards you can compare to your friends, and maybe you can do some kind of battle royale mode thing, sort of like what Forza Horizon does. Basically, I'm imagining Forza Horizon versions of those games, right? That's all I can really imagine they would do with it. Otherwise, I don't really know.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. Where am I at? Visualizer. When you put your shoes on before going out, do you put one shoe on, tie it, and then put the other shoe on? Or do you put both shoes on first and then tie them?
I don't like tying shoes. I wasn't very good as a child. It took me way longer than other people to learn how to do it. So I like slip-on shoes more now. And I have these new shoes that are crank. Actually, there's a little knob in the back that I can crank to tighten them, and if I pull it out, they become untightened. I wish I had them on right now. I would show you. I love cranking them in public, especially around my one friend who finds it very annoying. But yes, I have crank shoes.
Sorry, let me just answer a text real quick.
Oh, so you read other people's texts?
Yes, absolutely. All right.
It's about the house. It's important.
No, that one's from your mom.
Wow.
Mr. Bowler, happy Friday, everyone. According to Google Maps, it takes approximately 19.5 hours to drive from Denver to Cleveland. Jeff, you must listen to the OST from one and only one video game for the entirety of this trip. What game OST would you choose? And for Mike, what game OST would you choose for Jeff? For me, this one's simple, and it's totally cheating, but it's...
Simple and clean?
No, it's Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, because it's got so much music in it.
super cheating.
Yeah. That's cheating. So, what would you choose for me, Mike?
I just make you listen to Kingdom Hearts. That'd be pretty funny.
Wow, yes, that would be very funny.
I wonder something that's worse, actually. Like, what's the game? Maybe Balan Wonderworld's soundtrack for 20 or 19 hours or something would just drive him insane. He'd have to drive the car off a cliff before he got here.
Let's see. From Turbo Madden, a jolly Friday to the messy game lads. I've been watching your past E3 press conference rewatches, and it's something amazing. Or it's some amazing, hilarious content from you all. My question is, since we're nearing the E3 seasons, even though E3 is canceled this year, will you two watch more past E3 press conferences in June and talk over them MST3K style? Yes.
Yeah, we should do that.
We will do that. Yes, we'll make time specifically for that.
There's still some big ones we haven't done. We haven't done the Konami one. I don't think we did like the famous Sony one yet. So yeah, we could still do. That'd be fun.
Yes, it will be. Plus, I have that awesome intro that I made that I want to use again.
There you go.
From Laushin, hey guys, hope your week went well. I had no questions this week, but then I saw a short from Jeff's YouTube channel and something came to mind. Jeff, when are you going to lick a Nintendo Switch? That might be the thing Nintendo has been waiting for to let you out of Nintendo jail. Listen, that's what it takes. I'll find my Nintendo Switch somewhere. I think I took it upstairs, and I'll make it happen.
He lost that too, probably. You don't know where it is. Probably next to the play date.
For Blackheart Vinyl, do you think when Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games come to Switch, they'll use online to simulate a link cable? I mean, they've been doing that with all the other games, so yeah, I think they would.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Like, they put like a Pokemon game on there and like let you trade Pokemon. Do you think they would let you do that?
Yeah, well, they put Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow on the 3DS. They had something. They just let you trade.
Okay, well then there you go. Yeah, so that I do expect that.
Well, I don't know if they're going to put the Pokemon games on there if they can't sell them individually.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right, exactly.
Maybe they'll probably put Red and Blue on there. Actually, like, come on.
Right. Just those first ones. Right. Yes, they just sold it to us on 3DS. Yeah.
Right. We probably will not get Gold and Silver at least for a while.
Yes.
Ruby and Sapphire probably not for a very long time.
Cran just make basketball. Hello, Jeff and Mike. Without delving into the nastiness of the author whose name will not be said, Warner Brothers is currently examining the viability of the Fantastic Beasts movies, depending on how the third movie does. Do you think they're doing the same thing with Hogwarts Legacy? Do you think WB decides there's still value in the franchise if they just give said author a big payout and just buy the franchise wholesale from them? If the movie tanks, does the game even have a chance in hell? I posted this on old forum last week because apparently Discord threads are hard.
So I mean, part of Fantastic Beasts' problem is it is like that stuff with the author, but those movies have also like been bad. Like the second one was awful. It was a terrible movie that bummed everybody out to watch it. It was a movie where you just sat there and watched maybe the characters you kind of like from the first one maybe become Nazis, or you watch two babies die, get murdered. So it's just no one liked that movie. No one wants to see a third one. No one cares. So I bet Warner Brothers can tell themselves like, well, yeah, these movies are bad and we blew it. But like the video game, which is like way more like old school Harry Potter, it's in Hogwarts. That is going to be fine.
Yes, Mike's right. I think they're just separate at this point. People want a game for different reasons than anyone would want those movies. Those movies are just yes.
if this game also does bad and then the movie did bad, I think we are going to officially be in like either Harry Potter hiatus mode or straight up, all right, it's time to reboot things mode.
Yeah, they'll probably reboot it with a TV show on HBO Max or something like that. Yeah,
on CNN Plus.
CNN Plus, yes. All the kids love CNN Plus. Turbo
would be too.
Turbomination. Hi there, lovely people. Good Friday. Among all announced Star Wars games, do you know if any of them being made are Mandalorian themed? I don't know. I think that there will be a lot of Mandalorian theming in that Ubisoft one, though. I bet you'll be able to play as a Mandalorian for sure. I bet there'll be Mandalorian missions. So yes, probably.
Yeah. Well, at least one of them's got to have some heavy Mandalorian stuff. It is. If this was like that golden era we were talking about before, like the GameCube era, there would just be a Mandalorian game, probably out by now.
Yes, it would be, and that's probably where we should get back to. So hopefully.
Yeah.
Virginia Jackson incoming. Y'all, we got Xenoblade and Splatoon release dates all within a week after my birthday. Shout out to the homie Nintendo. That's all I have. Great weekend, everybody. We're very happy for you incoming.
Congrats, VJ.
Pinball RJ, what game comes out first? Machine Games, Indiana Jones, a new Tomb Raider, or a new Uncharted?
Oh, the Indiana Jones game's got to be first, right?
I think so. I mean, it's the one that's been the furthest along. It's been announced years ago now, right? So,
right. And I mean, and then Tomb Raider is at least like in some kind of pre-production, and Uncharted is more like we're figuring out how to proceed here and who's going to make this game.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's definitely got to be Indiana Jones.
From Velocity Prime 1, Friday comes this time of week to the Beef and Cheddar Boys. Since 2017, there have been 2 full-blown Sonic movies, but nary a new game. This year, Origins and Frontiers are on the docket, but it makes one wonder: is Sega unsure what to do with Sonic as a video game character?
You know, we didn't talk about Origins in the news, but that got a release date,
right.
Something, and it looks awesome. I'm very excited for that.
Well,
I know
everyone's games upset that they've already released in other forms before. Tell me why it's awesome. I kind of zoned out.
It's just, so you get the original versions, and then you get those kind of widescreen versions with some added things. And 1 and 2 have existed like that, and CD has too, but this is brand new for Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It has not gotten this treatment yet, so that's brand new. And just having them together is very nice. They also have like the anniversary mode is kind of remixing it a bit or remaster. There's not lives anymore, so it's a bit more modern like that. And it's like, yeah, why not? It actually doesn't really matter for me in a Sonic game if I run out of lives and start from the beginning. That does not make my experience any better. But yeah, it just looks like a really good collection. Mostly Sonic 3 Knuckles being on there and getting that full treatment. And it's from it's not Christian Whitehead, but it's that other studio that worked on Mania. Yeah. Basically, is helping with this. And it also has like these really cool looking animated cutscenes. Yeah, I'm very excited for it. It looks super nice. But in terms of like why, I mean, I think that they have just put more time than usual into Sonic Frontier. It hasn't been that long since what Forces, and Forces had a bit of a like not great reception. So yeah, they probably had to take some time, figure things out again. They couldn't just make another Sonic Forces. And then for Mania, I mean, Christian Whitehead started a new studio, and I think they're working on their own 3D platformer. And then that other smaller studio, which is mostly contract employees, they were helping with Sonic Origins, it turns out. So that's what they've been up to. I don't think there's anything weird going on there. I think it's just these things take time.
Let's see. 1UP versus CPU. Does Wild Arms for Super Nintendo have big Mega Man X vibes?
I was so out of it on Tuesday. I was so tired. Yeah. I said Wild Arms. You were trying to make fun of me, and it went over my head, and I thought you were being stupid. I made fun of you.
I mean, usually that's how it goes, so I get why you just defaulted to that.
In my defense, Wild Arms and Wild Guns are pretty similar names.
Yes.
And they're both.
I mean, they're both the same thing, really.
Themed.
Guns are arms, so yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So give me a break.
Epic Open World. Mike, did you see the Shredder's Revenge gameplay? Man, is it going to be tough to choose Game of the Year between that and River City's Girls 2?
Man, I haven't, but I'm like already all in on it. I don't need to see anything else. I'm already so excited. And gosh, yeah, River City Girls. Oh, good time for beat 'em ups.
Good time for beat 'em ups. They both look really good. Jedi Master 4 Zelda games before Breath of the Wild was never a massive seller in a way that Breath of the Wild became. Breath of the Wild comfortably outsells all past games by a large margin. Even the remakes and spin-offs they've done since Breath of the Wild don't come close. Is mainline Zelda going to be in the Breath of the Wild style indefinitely going forward? I don't know, indefinitely kind of like an indeterminate amount of time, but yes, like they're going to be in this style for quite some time.
maybe at least as long as the Ocarina of Time style hung around. But no, also to be fair, like those like Ocarina of Time sold very well for a Nintendo 64 game.
Right.
That stuff is it's comparative. Like same thing with Twilight Princess. There are ones that like, and then Wind Waker probably also sold well for a GameCube game. And again, the GameCube didn't have a very large audience.
From Hospeo Beefy Boys, you've spoken before about Final Fantasy XIV keeping Square Enix more than afloat. So what the hell is keeping Sega afloat? In the UK, Sports Interactive and Creative Assembly seem to be performing brilliantly on PC, but Sega continues to stumble with its own games. As a former QA tester for them, they seem to be getting even worse. I mean, it really is like those PC games do very well. They continue to meet their expectations and often exceed them. They do have Atlas, and when those games come out, they sell very well. The problem with Sega is they could always be doing more with all of these things, especially all of Atlas's games. They could just be coming out in so many more places. So they just seem sort of lost at sea in a little bit, but they're not like bound to collapse.
No, they got that Sonic the Hedgehog, and people sure do like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right, and that movie's making money, so they got that too. That got that
a lot of money. Most successful video game movie ever, right?
Yep. Delta Prime 84. Hey, Beef and Cheddar Boys. Jeff, have you been able to find out anything in regards to SCS Software's Euro Truck Sim 2 Heart of Russia expansion? I noticed in the 1.44 beta for ETS SCS have made a few changes around St. Petersburg and Kaliningrad. I'm not sure if SCS is making lemons out of lemonade or if are they getting ready to quietly release the expansion. No, I haven't heard, but I'll reach out again and I'll see if we can get an answer for you. Jeremy G, happy Friday, Jeff, Vintage Bitch, Grubb, and Mike, background sounds Minotti. If the GamesBeat staff put on Spartan armor and fought in a constantly enclosing death arena, who would be the last Spartan standing? My money is on Dean.
Dean? No. Nah, Dean's wrong.
Mike would just end Dean.
Yeah.
I think I would probably end up killing most people, and then Mike would just kill me. I think that's how it would go.
I agree with that, yeah.
From Patrick Hand, hey guys, in your opinion, do you foresee the hiring needs at studios basically across the entire industry will continue for years to come? I'm about 2 years away from a bachelor's in game development, and as a husband and father of two, I'm hoping I haven't made a terrible mistake in the path I've chosen. I'll say one thing: you can't know what the future is going to hold, and the path you're on. If it's making you happy, stay on it. If you think it has a chance of providing what you need, stay on it. You can't. You never you just can't time the market on these things. Yeah. You can't time the job market. I think in 2 years things won't be as hot as they are right now, but this should have some permanent effects in terms of giving a little bit more power to employees going forward, because you could always these companies should remember this to a certain extent. Now eventually they will get back to their old ways, but 2 years seems like too close of a time. If you're entering the industry in 2 years, you should still have pretty decent power in terms of getting what you need.
Probably don't have to work at a Call of Duty support studio by default.
Yes, that's probably right. From Turbo Giggy 64, sup beefs. I've been revisiting Shadow of the Colossus on PS2 after beating Eco, and while is it Eco or Ico for that one? And while I'm very much enjoying this version, it's very clear from the frame rate and pop-in that this game was way too big for the PS2's britches. Besides poorly made ports and bad day one PC releases, have there been any games in the past that you've overlooked glaring technical flaws because the game was that darn good? Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, sure. I mean, gosh, that is certainly a big one. And I was actually watching a speed running documentary about Shadow of the Colossus. And it is funny, like, seeing what that game actually did look like on PlayStation 2. Because at the time, none of that bothered me. It was just so cool and so amazing that game existed that I did not care that the frame rate wasn't great and that the textures were blurry and all stuff. Now, going forward, I probably would just play that PlayStation 4 version now because why not? But at the time, I didn't really care. But yeah, I'm sure there's games that never... I mean, my favorite video game of all time, Mega Man 3, is kind of infamous for having pretty bad slowdown issues, even compared to the other Mega Man games, but it doesn't really bother me. I can just go through it.
Yeah, Super Mario 64 was like 20 frames per second a lot of times and stuff like that. I never even noticed it.
A lot of Nintendo 64 games, except for like F-Zero X, have performance issues.
Yes, yeah, and all the good ones I didn't care.
Heck, even Breath of the Wild didn't have a super safe frame rate. Kind of bummed me out, but also whatever.
Yeah. From Alex, what else do you think is real and what to see from the NVIDIA leak? I mean, Final Fantasy IX remake, right, Mike? That's the one you probably want.
That's the one I got my eye on at this point. That's the big one. I'm waiting to see what's going on there. I think there's another Distant Worlds concert in Pittsburgh coming up. Maybe they'll accidentally reveal it while I'm there.
From Keyworks, sup boys, have any of you all gone down the retro modding rabbit hole? This has always been something I knew of, but never really gave my mind. My Life in Gaming's YouTube channel, which is very good, everybody, has me wanting to RGB everything. Just curious if you all got hit by this bug. I've always wanted to. I've never actually done it, mostly because I try to like not go down the collection rabbit hole and try to get all this original hardware. Which I definitely want to do, but every time I do it, it's like it just makes myself a little bit more miserable because I'm like, oh, I need to get every little piece of it, and I need to, RGB these things to get the best possible picture out of them. And when I can get stuff that I'm really happy with from emulators on the PC, it's usually good enough, and I try to just be happy with that. How about you, Mike?
I'm pretty miserable with hardware, so the idea of modding it is scary.
Okay, let's see, from Sosuke. Hey, Jeff and Mike, I hope you both have a wonderful weekend. Jeff, I hope the move is going well, and it will just be super hectic. Oh, well, will it be super hectic with gaming news and super game showcases on the horizon? My question this week is this. We all know the Activision Blizzard deal won't be done by the time the next Call of Duty comes out, but could Microsoft work out a deal to get it on Game Pass before the deal goes through? We talked about this before. That's something they probably could make work. Because it's, they probably have had those conversations before. I still think it's pretty unlikely because they'd still have to pay a lot of money for it, and Activision would have to operate under those needs. Hang on, I got a kid yelling at me.
And I don't have my flute here, everybody. Sorry. I could sing for you. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. Oh, you're back.
All right. Let's see. From Ed, following the announcement of Kong Cross Godzilla Cross Call of Duty, which is something I didn't include in the news. What is the dream entertainment / game crossover for you guys? I'm stuck between Twin Peaks, Call of Duty Zombies, and a Columbo / Ace Attorney game.
Oh God, well that's the answer now is Columbo Ace Attorney. Nothing else matters. Nothing else
so
matters.
Good. Ed, you got it in one. That is such a good idea. I would be happy with just a Columbo game, but Columbo in Ace Attorney actually is a perfect idea.
Yes. Oh my gosh, please.
From Major Blazer, opinions on steak and eggs. It's delicious. I would eat it all. Well, so a lot of times I don't need a steak with my eggs, but on those mornings when I do, it's great.
I'm not opposed to eggs. I'm not the biggest egg guy, and I'm a bit of a baby about them. I usually just eat them scrambled with like other things. So like I don't like the sunny side egg with the runny yolk, which I know makes me a baby. Everybody's all about the runny yolk these days. That's like the big trend.
I've always been about the runny yolk ever since I was a kid. So I was ahead of the trends apparently. I did not know that was a recent trend.
It's a very big thing these days. So I like steak. I'd rather I don't know. I don't associate steak with breakfast. I want other things for breakfast than steak and egg.
Let's see. From Jamie H. Do you think Activision Blizzard would consider putting WoW on Game Pass to make up for all the ground they've lost to Final Fantasy 14?
No. I think their thinking is that we'll get those people back with Lich King Classic and with the new expansion. I don't think they're going to make any kind of Game Pass moves, at least immediately.
I'm sorry, what were you saying? I had to tell you was yelling at a kid.
That's what I was just going to comment about how it got quiet. It's like, oh, I assume you're yelling at a kid. And you were.
Yes, yeah. Did you answer this one about WoW on Game Pass?
Yes, I did, Jeff, and it was very smart, and everybody said, wow, Mike, that was very insightful. Thank you for commenting. Wow, Jeff is an idiot who doesn't know anything.
That seems fair. From Waffle Sama, what are your favorite obscure PS1 / PS2 games? Have you also tried out LSD for PS1? I've never tried that out. PS2, I'm playing Flipnik this week. It's sort of like an adventure pinball game. It's almost like Yoku's Island Express a little bit. It's not really a Metroidvania, but it looks like a real pinball machine in a video game. But it kind of just like you get the pinball to just keep going and going and going through all these different areas, and you're unlocking new areas. I like that game a lot. PS1, I'm trying to think about an obscure PS1 game I like. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so hard removed. And lately, if I play a PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 game, it's probably one of the big hits. There were
Yeah.
weird licensed games on PlayStation 1 that I kind of liked, even though they probably weren't very good, like the Rugrats game. You kind of just like ran around and collected things.
Yeah, the Muppets game for PS1 is actually very good.
Wow.
I like the Muppets one on there a lot. Do you have a
There was some
PS2 one?
Disney, PlayStation 2? I don't know. Again, like when I think about PlayStation 2 in the year 2022, I am thinking of the biggest biggie hits. I'm struggling to think of the obscure things now.
I gotta say, Mike, I look over at chat, and you're right. Everyone is saying, Mike, that was very insightful. Thank you for commenting. And Jeff is an idiot who doesn't know anything. I thought you were just making it up.
No, I'm not a liar.
You would never lie.
I'm very smart. No.
From Elendalin. Can we call your new house the Grubb Hub? Yeah, I've thought about it. I think I'm gonna make them pay. If they're gonna, I'll make them pay, and then I'll call it the Grubb Hub. We'll see. See if they want to sponsor it. From Quake 6, hey Mike and Jeff, hope the week is going well. What is your favorite game that was not received well critically? For me, it would be The Last Remnant, which was Square's first game made with the Unreal Engine.
Wow, I remember that. Yeah, I remember some people liked that, and at the time I didn't really get into it.
Was that like was it like from the same thing as like Blue Dragon? No, Blue Dragon was not Square, specifically not Square. Okay.
No. You're thinking of Lost Odyssey.
I am.
And Blue Dragon were Mistwalker, which was the Final Fantasy guy studio after he left Square Enix.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Last Remnant was just kind of that era. I liked that. I remember really liking when they made that new Castle of Illusion game for DS and kind of gave it the Epic Mickey branding. I thought it was very good, and most people were like pretty hard on it, and I was kind of surprised. It seems like it's already forgotten, and I liked it a lot. It was basically just like they really did just make a brand new Castle of Illusion game. It was called Power of Illusion or something like that. And yeah, everyone always forgets it. It was slightly non-linear. Like you went around, you had to like find Disney characters and stuff like that. But Maribel from Castle of Illusion was even still there. It did some DS stuff, I think, with the dual screen, but it was mostly you still butt bounce to get to things. I remember like playing it at E3 that year, and I did like the butt bounce to get to some high place, and like the guy, the PR person was like, "You're the first person who did that," and I felt so proud of myself, Jeff, that I still remember it, which is embarrassing.
Hey, all right, don't worry. I remember all the times that PR people were very nice to me, which is what they're paid to do. I remember playing Rocket League in front of the guys. I think they were pretty impressed because I was pulling off some good moves. It was the first time I played in a long time, and it's like the Switch version, and I was like playing very well. But even still, they're like, "Hey, what's your rank?" And I'm like, "I haven't played in a long time, guys. I haven't played since you changed how you do rankings." So I was like, I'll remember that forever as well because they were like, I felt impressive. Let's see. My answer to this question is always Star Wars Bounty Hunter. There's probably better answers, but that's kind of always what I say when people ask this question. So I think that's probably right.
Fair.
From King is Overrated. Hello, Mike and Jeff. Glad I could catch the show live. Quick question: as a huge FromSoft fan, do you believe that other companies, mostly PlayStation, will try and use the success of Elden Ring to hype up IPs of theirs that are made from FromSoft with remasters and re-releases? For example, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, and Microsoft / Activision possibly doing that with Sekiro. I could see if any of those games get any sort of update, it will absolutely be from the makers of Elden Ring. Try the game they made before they went on to make Elden Ring. You're absolutely right. They will do that.
It's hard to imagine that Sony doesn't very badly want some kind of a PlayStation 5 version of Bloodborne now. Right? I mean, why not? Yep. That would do very well.
I mean, it was like trending multiple times after Elden Ring because people were talking about it so much.
People were asking about it a lot before Elden Ring.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Like, come on.
Reese Elliott, would you rather eat 200 chicken nuggets or 15 burgers? Doing either right now sounds like it would murder me.
Sounds awful. I think I would actually just die. I think I can maybe handle the chicken nuggets more. Because I can eat one cheeseburger these days, especially if it's like a greasy fast food cheeseburger, and just feel awful for maybe 2 days.
Yeah, I would eat 200 chicken nuggets, but either one's going to destroy me.
Yes.
Dangerman late reply. God of War Ragnarok being teased by. Did we talk about God of War Ragnarok? I meant to talk about that.
No, we didn't really talk about that. There's so much happening. Jesus.
Yeah. Being teased by Sony Santa Monica devs with a release this year. Are they wanting to nail a release date / window to do a big blowout / reveal? I mean, I think yes, absolutely. I think they have a pretty solid target date in mind. I meant to bring this up. I put it in the news, and I must have just skipped over it. it is. They came out and they said, "Oh, 4-year anniversary. We don't have anything to talk about yet. We'll have something to talk about soon." But they did not say they were delaying it into 2023. So, Mike, do you think this is coming out this year?
Yeah, I mean, it could still always not. I was pretty adamant that Horizon was definitely coming out at the end of 2021 until suddenly it wasn't, right? So,
right.
So who never knows? Who never knows? Who ever knows?
Who never knows? Matt, who is Rare Monkey, says anything changed with the Discovery/AT&T stuff at this time? No, it seems like that stuff is more like in place, but maybe that gives them more time to start looking around for suitors again. So I don't know. It just sounds like things are continuing in the way that they always were going, just based on the momentum from before. Okay. That does it from community questions. Do we get any more super chats? I don't think so. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay. From Uriel Delgado. 2 days late, but Spaghettio Weed Cat 420. I'm sorry. Spaghettito? How do you spell? Here, Mike, how do you...
This is one of those stoner 420 jokes that I don't understand, Jeff, because I am not an awful sinner.
Because it's the name of the Weed Cat from the new Pokemon game, right? That's what it is.
Oh, Weed Cat. That's right. That's right.
Jeff is an idiot, says Nick Turbo. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah.
Well, he spelled it wrong. Sprigatito. Okay. Yes.
I just thought you were trying to say something about SpaghettiOs.
Listen, it's Speigatito. That's how he spelled it here. So excuse me, princesses.
Yeah. Whoa. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah.
I mean to upset you. Next thing, I'm gonna bring up some VG shirts.
I'm going to cope seethe now, Mike.
Hope seed. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're all caught up. Mike, what have you been playing?
Oh gosh, still a lot more Final Fantasy 14. That PvP mode's been a lot of fun, and just trucking along in 13 Sentinel. So nothing too new. I don't really have too much more to say. I am enjoying both quite a bit, actually. 13 Sentinels is like, I know I like a Switch game a lot when I have to like stop playing. I was like, okay, I need to try and fall asleep. Now I want to actually just keep playing this, but it's way too late, and now I need to stop. So it's been a good feeling to have one of those again.
Good. Your character is very small in Final Fantasy 14, Mike, and I can't stop thinking about how small.
I didn't know you didn't know I was a Lalafell. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So there's all those races you can pick, and I don't know. So most people pick the Lafells, the really little guys, and like it's not like picking a gnome in World of Warcraft. They look like children. They just look like children, and most people pick them as like a joke or for some other weird reason, and I'm like the only one that's like, I like these the best, non-ironically, and this is what I want to be.
You would never joke about that. You very serious about your love for little ones.
Well, yeah. So in Final Fantasy 11, there was the Taru, which was like the same kind of thing, and in the opening CG video of Final Fantasy 11, they showed the Taru shooting magic, so it just implanted in my head, and that in VV in Final Fantasy 9, like, oh, if I want to be a magic person, I should probably be one of these little guys. Since I wanted to do magic when I first started playing Final Fantasy 14, I was like, well, I want to be one of. I'm always very heavily influenced by the CG trailer. Like World of Warcraft, the first CG trailer opens with that dwarf hunter, right? And he has his giant bear. So guess what? My first World of Warcraft character was a dwarf hunter, and I got a bear. So maybe I'm just a normie who's easily influenced.
I'm sorry, Mike. I was going to interrupt you, but have you played any other games you want to talk about?
No, I don't think so. It's just been just pretty much those two. I think I've given up on Tunic. I do think I think I liked it more than Death's Door, but I also didn't want to go. I kind of like I told you, there was that one time I got frustrated. I was like, I'm at a boss I shouldn't be at yet, and because there's no fast travel, at least not yet, I have to really backtrack a lot, and I kind of just don't want to.
I'll say that world is not as big as you probably think right now. So I know it feels that way, and if that's the way it feels, I'm not going to ask you to go like fight against those feelings, because I totally understand that. But you know, if you did have any reason that you wanted to go back, I'll say the world is not as big as you're thinking. But still,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. So there's a lot of things I still need to play or get back to. I still like stopped Tales of Arise because I hit this halfway point and other things came out. So it seems like a good place to take a break, but I still want to beat that. Yeah. And now there's freaking like, even stuff like Earthbound and the new Sega RPG that I'm already forgetting the name of for some reason. Lots of things to play.
Yeah, my hair flaps are out of control. Chat's right.
They are out of control. Shining Force 2. That's there.
Yeah, I'll say that actually getting near the end of Tunic, I think it is sort of starting to. I think I've heard people say that the ending part of it, which is what I'm in, it's not as good, and I'm definitely feeling that, and it's very much making me just want to go play Link Between Worlds on my Steam Deck instead. So
it is actually, yeah, that'd be fun.
I played Rift Tracks, the game, and I played it with the Rift Tracks people, and it was a lot of fun. And also I actually did a game with because I got a review code, and I can't like stream it yet, and I can't review it yet. But as part of the preview process, I did kind of play with some people in the community because I needed people to play with, and we had a lot of fun doing that as well. And people are like, "Hey, when can we play again?" I'm like, "Well, I need to keep doing review sessions, so we'll set it up again sometime soon." It's fantastic. It's exactly what it needs to be, right? It is funny clips from movies you would recognize if you've kept up with the Rift Tracks crew. And if you haven't, it's like a lot of movies that are still immediately sort of funny on your first glimpse at them. The clips they choose, they stand out. They kind of are almost funny on their own. And then you get a chance to try to make them funnier by typing in your jokes. But then if you can't think of anything, using one of the jokes from the professionals, from the Rift Tracks guys, is also a viable alternative. Like, honestly, multiple rounds, someone who did that when I was playing with my friends, they did that and they won. Because the jokes are often so good and so funny, you can't help but laugh and want to vote for it. And then the other mode, pick a riff mode, which is where you only can pick a riff that are randomly assigned. There are like 2,000 that are sort of generic, and they're generic, but they were written for one of the other clips. But they take them all, they put them in a big pool, and they hand them out to you like a hand of cards, and you get like 6 to 8 of them or something like that, like 8 of them. And the clip plays, and now you got to figure out which one you're going to play for this clip. And it's very much like Cards Against Humanity or something like that. Very non sequitur, but you have to figure out, like, do I want to play this very funny card right now or hold on to it? And it worked super well, and it was just a blast. It was very cool to play with the Rift Tracks guys. So that game is out May 5th. It should be out the night of May 4th. Like, it should launch at that time. So once we're able to, I will stream that game immediately, and we'll try to play with the community, get everybody on the Twitch stream, and that'll be a real good time. So I'm super looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. That'll be fun.
But that does it for me, Mike. Should we wrap up?
Yeah, so, are we doing Jeopardy tonight? You said, so 7 my time? I could just, do that and then go out and meet my friends.
Yeah, 45 minutes, right? So we'll get you out. We'll try to get started right at 7.
Yeah, we'll be completely fine. There's no rush. I mean, I could beat you guys in probably 20 minutes if I wanted to.
Very fun. Very fun. Very good that you are like that. I like that. Mm-hmm. All right, Mike, I'm going to hit the button.
Hopefully my electricity's back.
I swear I didn't cut your electricity so you couldn't play Jeopardy.
You're the animal. It's an animal problem or something.
Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
Find me on Twitter at Tokoto and on twitch.tv at Tokoto. We gotta get back in that Monkey Islanding, maybe stream some more Final Fantasy 14 PvP and Shining Force 2 and or Earthbound. I think I'm going to do that poll soon on my Twitter, see what people want me to play more. But yeah, and we'll be back on Tuesday with the last of the Nintendogs, and check out 90s Disney, my 90s Disney podcast. Ooh, Jeff, apparently you have a Q&A this weekend also.
I'm Jeff Grubb. I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitter, Jeff Grubb on Twitch. This weekend, if you are a member on YouTube, if you are a Patreon subscriber, whatever, if you are one of those, if you're in the Cool Kids Club, on Sunday morning on Discord, hop in. You will see a Discord stage. I'm going to start a Q&A on there. It'll go for about an hour, and I'll answer whatever question you want to talk about, any topic you want to talk about. I'll record that. If you are someone who cannot make the stage recording when I do it, that's fine. There is a Patreon like RSS feed that I will link to in the podcast producers channel, and you can get it there by subscribing through your podcast app, or you could just download the MP3. I will just put that right in Discord. You can get it there. Either one's an option, so you can listen to it later if you want. But that is happening. Let's see, it's April 24th, so Sunday morning. So look out for that. All right, Mike, any plans for the weekend?
No, hopefully. Maybe just do some cleaning, play some more video games. That would be. The weather's improving a bit, so maybe get to do some stuff. I have a bunch of chickens chicken thighs I've been marinating, so maybe I'll get those on the grill. If I get electricity back, I can do it soon.
So yeah, very excited. I think I'm gonna be cleaning too, packing up. We gotta just keep doing that. So I think it's time to like really go through this office and get stuff like organized at the very least. So everywhere else I've done every other room. It's just I need a lot of stuff in this office, but I got to start figuring out like where does this stuff go. So I'll be doing that. All right, everybody, have a good one. Take care of yourself. See you next week.
Bye.